So dinner.
All right. Number 1, started recording. Number 2, everyone give their introductions for their roles. I'll just kick it off. I'm Chris, and I'm going to be the facilitator. And then starting with Kyle, Yvonne, and then Harrison.
Kyle, I'm Kyle, and I am the challenger for this meeting.
I'm Yvonne. I'm the submitter.
I'm Harrison Platt. I am the jokester and timekeeper.
All right, and then moving us to number 3 for the joke.
All right, joke of the day. So this is when my dad used to tell me all the time when we were driving around. It says, "Why do cemeteries always have fences around them?" Because people are dying to get in.
I see what you did there.
So that's a relic of a dad joke.
All right, moving to number 4. I'm just going to give us time to talk about what Dr. Chanley had just told us about our last.
Yeah.
You guys have any thoughts on that?
No, I think it's spot on. It's just trying to find that middle ground of biting your tongue, but also getting into the conversation, not letting yourself doze off, because not talking for so long, you can end up off in the fairy dust fairylands. I think it's good advice. It's hard to nail that down, but something to shoot for.
Right. Yvonne, any input? Sorry.
I was writing a lot of notes as a facilitator, and we were making changes to our meeting style, so I wanted to make sure I didn't drop the ball on that. So I apologize because my notes are here and here.
And impeccable.
And not here. So I look down. Also, our meeting time was a little bit earlier than usual at 2 o'clock Pacific Standard Time.
Right.
And even though I'm in a salaried position, I am expected to be clocked in, so to speak, until 5. So when my work texts me a question or calls me, I have to take that.
Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I did have that one scenario, and I try and get out of the frame to do it, but sometimes I'm not that lucky.
How about you, Kyle?
I looked like absolute poopy yesterday, so I was
Showstopper.
looking poopy, and I was basically looking at some notes and then basically that's how I was deciding my answer.
Yeah.
Had I had my answers on the laptop and ready to go, I would not have had my phone up to the damn camera. So but I was horrible. That was bad.
I also think that wasn't really a typical way that we converse with each other.
Yeah, I think it was also kind of fresh and a lot of material and dry material. It just, it's getting used to a newer system.
There was a lot of material yesterday, and when I read all the material and looked at all the videos, that was a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Speaking of material, I'm assuming everybody did their notes and they watched the video and stuff.
Yeah.
For today's meeting.
You get those notes in, everyone?
Yep.
And then I just want to admit that I thought we were only asking team-related questions. So,
I mean, that's fine. It's perfect.
Okay.
Throw those all in.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Moving to number 7, we're going to go over the agenda for review agenda. I wrote myself notes so I could be a better facilitator this time around, but now I'm all like unorganized again, man.
You're not unorganized. You're doing great.
All right. That's number 7.
I'm writing notes. I'm paying attention now.
It's all right. Okay.
I just want to let you know. I have to look down for just a brief second because I
don't like that.
Well, I don't want to do this. You see me?
All right. Additional readings. We did.
I apologize.
Review. We don't need to.
So we're going to go through this the two questions that we were asked inside the notes.
No.
Right?
No.
No.
I don't know.
All right. Moving to number 8. We're going to review instructions for the team assignment discussion on the team interview guide.
Or is that I forgot? Is it 4.3?
Yeah, it's 4.3 agenda template for module 4 team interview guide and pre-post interview discussions. My notes are over here, so I'm looking over here.
Oh, I'm looking at 4.2. 4.2's got a lot of instructions on it as well.
Oh, yeah.
I read through this earlier.
Did you guys see those new roles?
Yeah, I put those down in the Google Doc.
Okay.
What new roles? Where do you see that?
There's 2 new roles, the introducer and then the thanker.
Yeah, it's halfway down in the 4.2.
4.3, you mean?
4.2.
Okay.
4.2's got a big page with a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's 4.3. That's 4.3. What is this? That's still 4.3. Why did I put 4? Jeez, Kyle, you really.
Falling apart, darling. Either way, so the new roles, it's, host is normal, facilitator as usual, and then we've got 2 new roles, introducer, that's whoever has that relationship with the interviewee. They'll introduce them at the start of the meeting as they come in, say, hello, this is this person. Everyone introduces themselves. And then we've also got the thanker role, and that's, last person to say, all right, well, thank you for your time and insights.
Oh, I read that. Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
So that's easy.
Yeah. That's nothing. That you're just, it's nothing.
Yeah. And Dr. Chanley already told us basically everything that's on this 4.2 page as she was getting ready to sign off, just letting us know, things to consider. As far as that goes, do we want to move on to the guide, or does anyone have questions about the instructions?
I don't know, Chris, what do you think? You're facilitator.
Oh, no, yeah. I mean, I just want to make sure that do we all understand how we're going to tackle this assignment before we start doing it? Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Cool.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Why are you sorry?
No, I'm sweating, man. I'm sweating. All right.
Really? Are you sick?
Kyle got you sick, yeah.
Oh, man. I knew I should have muted you.
Telling you.
All right. Okay. So, all right. And then I guess we'll just get right to it is everybody ready?
Yep,
yeah, so
ready.
everyone want to hop over to the Google Doc then?
Right. Yep.
Oh, everybody? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hold on. Can you figure that out? Okay. Yep. Got it.
I don't know if we should choose our roles now. Maybe it would give us a better.
Well, I think we should.
Do we want to go through interviewees first?
Yeah.
Make a decision on that, and then put together our questions and roles.
Mm-hmm. And then Yvonne, you said that you had a couple of people in mind.
I did. I interviewed the person who I think would be our best shot, our best gain. She's corporate, so there's that benefit. I don't know if that's what you guys were looking for.
Whatever.
Okay.
Has she formulated teams on her own?
I interviewed her. I interviewed her summary. Did you get a chance? I emailed her summary. Did you get a chance to read it?
No, I did not.
I did.
It is.
Okay.
What is the subject? Yeah. So she's corporate, a lot of experience, global experience, both virtual and in-house teams. And I don't know. Did you guys have any questions about that summary?
No, it looks good. 14 years of experience, that's got to hit every one of our questions at the end of the day. And being a project manager, that's an interesting, I'm taking a project management class right now, so that's an interesting one that hits my radar.
Mm-hmm. Hank and Kyle, did you guys have any ideas in mind other than the goats?
No, I have one of my good friends, Dan Engled. He works from home, but for 10 years he was in formal teams. His company, he's corporate. His company is based out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, and he was granted to where he could work from home. So he does nothing but manage virtual teams, and he's been doing that for the last 5 years. And he also has to travel internationally to other organizations. And what he does is his company basically implements programs or creates programs to resorts and businesses that helps improve revenue and improve customer service.
Okay.
And his title would be Project Organizational Manager, is what he told me. He has a degree in resort management, and I thought he would be the best bet for it, just simply because he runs virtual teams. He runs like three to four different virtual teams, and he also does nothing but talk to customers on the phone all day long.
Right.
So I don't know. It's up to you. It's up to you guys what you guys want to do. Other than the goats are a good idea. Archie, he's about 6 months old.
A lot of experience.
Okay.
I like Yvonne's interviewee for the fact, for 14 years of experience, project management is something that I'm interested in hearing about, even though the resort guy also has project management experience as well. I'd like to see, I think we'll get more in-depth answers hearing it from
Yvonne.
someone that might be doing it a bit more face-to-face. I don't know, that's my thought at least. Virtual teams, this is a virtual teams class, it makes sense to do that, but I just think we're going to get more full-bodied answers from someone working face-to-face and confronting challenges face-to-face.
No, that's cool. I would have to give this guy a case of beer. No, I don't. It really doesn't matter to me what we decide to do.
Hank and Chris, did you have potential candidates?
I have one, but it's just a sales guy that manages sales people. It's not that interesting, and he's got years of experience, but I think seeing your candidate, I think, is a better fit.
The only person, I had two people in mind. I only had my store manager, and then there's this other individual. He's a regional director of Starbucks of Northern California. But I haven't really gotten a chance to, I've reached out to him, but I haven't gotten a chance to see if he's reached back. So, so I think it'd probably be better bet to just go with Yvonne's if that's what everyone's looking like. Unless Kyle, you really want to.
Kyle, you really want your guy?
I mean, basically they're the same, but he's preparing for a trip to London, not next week, but for next week, basically. So we would really have to focus on, does your person that you have, are they flexible on time?
She said she'd prefer to do it after 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. I told her that's generally when our meetings are, so that probably would work out perfect for us if we started our meeting at 5, had our pre-interview part of our meeting, and which I think is half an hour.
Yeah, even less than maybe.
Yeah, and then jumped in with her. So as long as we provide her with questions, which is part of our assignment, we should be fine.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I think we should go with yours. It's just that he's preparing for a trip to London the next week and for work, and he gets done with work at like around 3 or 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock here. So it's just, let's just go with yours. It's fine.
All right.
Yeah, spot on.
Okay, so then once we formulate some questions, I'll and the date and time that we want this, I'll reach out to her and make sure we can get that in the book. So I don't think that it's going to be an issue. It's next week, right? We're interviewing next week?
Sometime next week.
Sometime next week.
Next week.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
I don't think that'll be an issue at all.
Awesome. All right, so Yvonne is then our official introducer.
Yeah, I think you should,
All right. Okay, I'm going to pull up my questions that I've grabbed.
Who wants to be the facilitator?
There it is.
I don't know. What are you guys thinking? I can hop on that if you want.
That'd probably work out better. I'm going to defer.
All right. And we got host and thanker left.
I will not host.
All right, I can host.
You guys will ruin my internet. It'll take me like 2 days to get that up.
It really wasn't that bad. It took me like an hour for both videos.
It's because
Yeah.
you guys have
Didn't-
faster because you probably live in more metropolitan areas. Where I live in the boonies, man. I'm surrounded by trees. So the
Big
only
boonies.
internet that we have, it's not fiber optic. It runs off the phone lines.
We got those fake internet tree towers.
Yeah, it's our internet. And then the thing is, I live on a street, so all the people run off the same thing.
Mm.
Well,
So they
I'm
all-
on the street. What do you mean?
We all own about 5 or 4 acres of land,
Uh,
right? I live on vacational property. Right, there's a street, but everyone runs off the same internet. They all run off the same pole. So like you have your internet, it's probably buried underground or wherever, where ours is all running off of a
So
pole.
can I grab your guys' attention real quick?
Yeah.
If you look in the middle where we're going to start putting questions and everything, I'd like everyone for their questions to be centered around a theme, whether it's conflict, team construction, or whatever. They don't have to be your questions. We can pull them from everyone's questions, but questions dealing with conflict or, formulating your own team, I'd like everyone's kind of categorized. That way the interviewee isn't seeing us bounce around from a bunch of different subjects.
We also have to keep in mind that we're going to try and keep this in like a conversational flow, right?
Right. So
Yes,
I was thinking,
absolutely.
we propose the question, they give their answer, maybe they have a question as well,
Right.
and then we go with that, and then I guess the next person in line can,
Okay.
or whoever can jump in and say, all right, well, let me expand on that. We'll talk about it and
So
develop a conversation from there. I think that's fine.
So what category would probably be appropriate to kick off with then? Construction.
Yeah, team construction. It really doesn't matter. I just like to get down some categories first and then start assigning those
right.
categories to each
Well,
person.
hang on a second. How about we throw out our questions, and
Mhm.
then we'll see that they roll into certain categories, either of the things that you guys want to find out, or the things that fit in the module learnings that we have. I agree with you. Each one of us should take a section and kind of lead that question, and most definitely, it should be the section that you want to know more about. You personally.
Mhm.
I'm not saying that I'm not involved in this at all. It's just that I've been doing that job for so many years. It's kind of like I don't need to, not to say I'm not going to learn anything. I'm going to learn a ton. I'm just saying I don't want to, you guys need to lead this thing most
Sure.
definitely and pick first. And I'm happy to always go with last straw. That's what I'm trying to say.
I agree with Yvonne. I say we just throw our questions out there and then we take our questions and we put it into whatever
Start
Flow.
to categorize them. Yeah.
categorize them. Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. There's the
Okay.
word.
So do you want to slap all your questions right where there's this big empty space underneath interviewee leaves meeting call?
Yep.
Oh, yeah,
Just
you
start
just-
slapping your questions in there.
Slap them.
Slap them. And then we'll go and start moving them around and maybe color coordinate them. I don't know, man. Whatever you want to do.
Control copy. All right, I'll learn this.
Whoops, that's my bad, everybody.
Damn it.
Give me
I just
one
wasted-
moment while everyone starts plugging those in. I got to use the restroom.
All right. Undo.
All right, so
That is not. There you go.
I'm drinking all my wife's White Claws right now.
What is that? An alcoholic seltzer? Is that what someone said?
Do you see that?
Pardon me? Oh,
Do you see
yeah.
that?
It's an alcoholic seltzer?
Yes. It's got like 5% in it, 5% alcohol.
No.
She drinks this thing religiously. She's like, I am drinking water. I was like, that's alcohol water. If you drink it every day, that means we have issues.
No team building. What team?
I went in the bathroom.
All right, so I'm going to write down from what I'm seeing, I see conflict,
Did you finish yours, Siobhan?
team building.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
you can add while we're here, dude.
Well, okay. I'm gonna just I'm gonna paste it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Boom. I did it just like that.
I want to ask a question more along the lines, or get her to get into her
I
personal
don't know how.
self.
Personal self? What do you mean?
Yeah, like her personal feelings about leading a team. You know, team leading, I guess.
Personal? I'm not following what you mean.
No, from her, like her, yeah, more of something more of her perspective. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's just about like team conflict and team building. I just want to know about what, you know, in her
Shit.
within her own personality or her own emotions. You know,
If she likes team, is that what you're saying?
not if she likes teams. It's just like, you know, how does she self-manage? You know, to how does she organize her own, like, her thoughts, her emotions? I guess team leading. Okay, I'm gonna write team leading. Then we're gonna get into areas of conflict, and then team building.
Oh, deal. Not deal. Ha.
Um, is Hank back?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
He's probably wondering, what the hell is Kyle doing?
Man.
Don't worry about me. All right. I'm all done.
All right. So how do you guys want to categorize this? You guys want to go question by question, or?
How about, would it be okay with you guys if I read the questions aloud and then just tell me what you guys think that the main focus of that question is and where we can do it, or if we need to kind of polish it and ask questions on it? Is that cool?
Yeah, no, I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just one thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Should we come up with are we all done with coming up with the categories?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Yeah. There's a couple, Hank already noted a couple up there.
Oh, okay. Leadership.
Scroll up, it's on the question categories.
yeah.
Yeah, but then he's finishing one thing. Are you just going to put leadership?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yep.
Yeah, sure. Whatever.
Okay,
Yeah.
we can polish it. We can wordsmith it. That's
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
To
I
ask
have
questions and talk it through.
I have a quick question for you.
Yeah.
Remember when she was saying about, like, you know, whether the person is a lengthy speaker? Would you know whether or not she likes to really dive into things when she's answering questions, or?
She will get into it if we have follow-up questions, but she is to the point. She's not quite as chatty as me.
Okay.
You don't have to worry about that.
When we send her the questions as well, we can say, you know, what do you think? Do you think this will take an hour, or do you want to allot more time per question or less time per question? Just send those out and be like,
No, we need to tell her our time frame.
Yeah.
So we'll let her know we want to clock in. She's very punctual. We're going to let her know we're going to clock in at this certain time, that's what time the interview will start, and that we will keep her no longer than X amount of time. She is a very busy professional, and she leads virtual teams in other parts of the world, she told me. So, for example, when I was talking with her, she had a 9 o'clock p.m. call and a 10 o'clock p.m. call. So I think it'd be very helpful, because she does also have a family. I think it'd be very helpful for us to give her a certain time frame, right?
Okay.
And just really lead it. She'll appreciate that. She won't like the wishy-washy. No, that's wishy-washy. I'm just saying she'll want us to lead it.
Okay.
She has an issue with it, she'll make mention.
All right. All right, Yvonne.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that sounds great.
What do you think, Hank?
No, that's great. Let's do it.
Okay. And then
Okay.
just go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so the first one, do you consider yourself to be an introvert or an extrovert? Where do you think that would fit?
Personal, I'm typing it up right here. Let me know what you think about this. Just a personal question and how they affect your leadership style.
So I would say that would be that.
So may I ask why does it matter if she considers herself to be an introvert or an extrovert?
I guess it could kind of shed light onto the two different personality types. It's kind of like how in the video Dr. Chanley had asked the other Dr. Chanley if she was an introvert. That's where I took it from.
Okay.
An introvert.
I see it as, they're personality questions, and those do shed light on how you lead a group and where you devote a lot of your attention to.
Well,
So should we ask an expanding question? Should we expand that question or ask a follow-up question on that?
I don't know.
I mean, we could always ask. We could always.
Well, maybe
ask a follow-up question depending on her responses.
Well, maybe there is a follow-up question. I don't think we should we should go through every question like this, because this will take years. I think we should either say yay or nay, we're going to keep this question, and then say we'll keep that question, but then we'll follow up with it with one of the questions that we have in this whole shebang here.
Okay.
Because if we go through and ask all the comments of what we thought all these questions are we're going to be here for hours, guys.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, you still want to go through this. What sort of diversity do you consider, and how do you implement and utilize diversity with your team?
I think that's a good one.
Yep. How do you maintain and uphold your leadership role?
Yeah, that was more for my thing. I just wanted to understand how she maintains her leadership, like within her group. It's all pretty much stemming from what Dr. Chanley's videos, like it was things that I wanted to hear that another leader kind of dived into. Yeah.
Okay, so are you talking about CME? Is that what you're talking about? Continuing education? Sorry.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Okay. How do you allow time for discussion while maintaining a healthy pace for meetings? I think that's a vital question.
Yeah. I'm just putting up arrows for the good stuff and down arrows for the we'll come back to it.
Okay. If there is a situation where you lose the facilitator role, how would you regain control? Are we assuming that she's always the facilitator in her team? Are you talking?
Maybe more say, instead of the facilitator role, but, when she's controlling a conversation, how do you regain when it goes off topic?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. How do you foster an open-minded meeting? I didn't scroll down. Okay. What team building exercises do you engage in? Oh, I want to see. Let's ask her that one.
Yeah. All right. So.
Sweet.
No, let's not ask her that one. I'm laughing. Let me think of a way to ask that question. But I like that question.
We'll thumbs it up and then we'll rephrase it. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you prioritize topics on an agenda? She's going to say the hot button topics are first. That's how you prioritize them. And then the round table of topics, she's going to say, like we've all learned, that we're going to open it up to the team to submit topics. So we can definitely hear that in her words, but, how do you manage different types of conflict? I think that's important. That goes along with, would you prefer a harmonious team or one with conflict? I think, of course, we're talking about healthy conflict. When building a team and you're interviewing, do you choose a person whose personality fits or skill set fits?
I like that one.
Yep.
I think that's a very important question. And honestly, I mean, we've all been in this situation. When you're building a team, that's a big decision a manager needs to make.
Mm-hmm.
Do you fill that hole with a skill set or with personality?
Or do you put them through training to fill one of those?
Huh?
Or do you put them through a training system to fill one of those categories that they're lacking? Yeah. In other words, are soft skills important or skill set, hard skills important? Yeah, I agree with you. What is your educational background? I think that's in her introduction. We should definitely ask that. Mm-hmm. What were your previous roles pertaining to your involvement with teams?
Are you talking about previous to this role she's experiencing now, before, or are you talking about what led her into being a PMP?
Is this me?
Yeah, I think
This
her
is me.
overall experience. I think that sounds good. Right,
Okay.
part of her introduction too. Yeah.
This
Okay.
is me. I posted these, right? Damn, I did.
What experiences do you have with Teams, virtual teams, part of her introduction?
Yeah.
What are your strengths in leading a team effectively? What are some improvements that you would like to work on in regards to leading teams?
I think those are two separate.
Let's change improvements to opportunities.
I like that.
What steps do you take to build a positive working relationship with your team? That's a fantastic question.
Yeah.
What are the most important attributes that you look for when you're building a team?
I think that we should get rid of that question because that person already asked it. What skills, personality? So we'll get rid of that one.
That's what I was thinking too. As far as negative conflict goes, what steps or ways do you take to eliminate that? That's fantastic. How do you deal with friction within the team that goes along with conflict also and goes along with number 7, I feel like.
Yeah.
So you want to get rid of that?
Deemed as negative conflict? Huh? What? Pardon?
Do you want to get rid of that one then?
No, I think that 7 and 8 marry.
Oh, yes, they're married.
What are some goals that you feel are important that you like to set for the team? Are you talking about mission statement for the team?
What are your so what I mean is, what are your so say you have a team, what are the overall goals within that team? Like you obviously have a baseline of goals.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
What's your baseline
what are your
for
baseline
success?
goals? What are so every team that you do, whether formal, virtual, you're going to have a baseline of goals. So that's what I should have said. What are your baseline goals?
Like as in baseline.
You mean as opposed to just your objective that your work objective is?
I
Like
don't care what your objective
complete this project. Beyond
care what
complete this project, is that what you're talking about?
No, I care about what the baseline goals are. Like, what are your goals that you feel that every team that you should be accomplishing in every team meeting that you have?
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Right.
What do you do when the goals are not being met?
And yes, goals, and that goes with that question.
Yeah, I agree. And how do you effectively improve productivity throughout the team?
So Harrison, can you change what are your baseline goals that you feel is important for every meeting? Help me out here. You got it. you know what I mean.
I understand what you're saying. I can't quite
word it. You know what I'm saying though?
I do.
Okay, maybe we should telepathically ask her.
Just stare at her for like 2 minutes.
Don't do that. She'll be like, so if you have nothing else, bye. What
I'm hypnotizing you.
Pardon?
I am hypnotizing you.
Yeah. What are the best practices when constructing your own team, and what considerations affect those practices?
Sweet. That's good. All right.
When joining an existing and disgruntled team, how would you engage them to become a high-performing group? I think that's a fantastic question.
I do like that.
How do you assimilate yourself in a team? Or just basically, how do you assimilate yourself in a new team? What's the best
That's
way
a good one to add on.
to jump in when, the team already has either a positive synergy or, like you said,
They got their own rhythm.
opportunity? Yeah. What are your considerations when approaching conflict in the workplace? Is it an opportunity or distraction? That one goes with a question that we have up there.
Yep.
And okay, I like this one a lot. This is the one that we could talk about whether or not you're an introvert or extrovert.
Yeah, and that's exactly. Yeah. Yep.
What personal experiences best exemplifies your leadership style?
Who asked that one? Who did that? Who asked that?
That's me.
Sounds like
Good
Hank.
job.
Yeah, I like that one a lot to replace that. I think that asks the same thing. Do you consider yourself an introvert or extrovert?
Yeah.
And it can go a couple different ways from there. These questions are really like wildly open-ended.
But
I like that
kind
one.
of should be though, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Let's
Because
get
we're
rid
gonna
of
have to bring our own personal set of questions too.
Yeah. So
But we have to categorize these.
So, and I think I think you said, Hank, this should definitely be a conversational thing. I don't think it should be a question and answer kind
Mhm.
of choppy, thing.
No, for sure.
Let's group them together in the topic headers that we like. Give her an example of the questions that we want. She'll have her answers pretty much in mind, and then we can just, as interviewees, start the conversation. And I think it'll be good.
Cool. So should we just start throwing these together into categories?
Yeah.
And then we'll assign each person a category and move stuff around from there.
Sure.
Cool.
I'm a really easy
Get
man
rid
to
of my
please
weird
today.
triangles as well.
Oh, okay. Bless you.
You
That
cool
was
with
my
that?
mother.
Huh?
He goes, bless you, and that was my mother sneezing in the next room.
Bless you.
Bless you, Mom.
Good old Mumsy at the sneezes.
The sneezes. Sorry, I'm messing up all your formatting.
No, don't worry. We're good.
I'm watching and concurring.
There you go. Thank you.
Who's copying and cut and pasting this stuff?
I'm just moving it.
What is the person's name?
Her name is Tracy Miller.
Tracy?
I'm going to throw
So-
this on this.
Is this going to improve your income,
What?
this meeting?
She
Should
wishes.
I be like,
Ask her
should I be
that. She's going to be sending you her Venmo address and expecting payment. So let's keep that on the DL, okay? Unless you're
is this your boss?
No, she's not my boss. She is actually Tracy and I have worked together about 22 years ago, and personal friends. When she first joined our team, I actually trained her. So, and she's a PMP like me, and she stayed with Hewlett Packard. I left Hewlett Packard, and she stayed with Hewlett Packard for 22 years, and then went to Oracle, where she works now. Yeah. She's had a lot of very interesting jobs and led a lot of virtual teams. She's also had a couple jobs that I would not have liked at all during that whole Silicon Valley downsizing trend. You guys have heard about that, where they did all that. Tracy was part of the team where she went in, established what teams did, how they interacted, what software and hardware they utilized to do their jobs, and then had to decide and present whether or not that team of 600 to 1,000 people was going to be eliminated and moved to an outsourcing. So that was a tough job. I would not have wanted to do that. You could not have paid me enough to do that. But then follow up, Tracy also went to those outsourcing teams, whether it was Guadalajara or, Costa Rica, wherever, India, wherever those teams were. And then she trained them both in person and virtual. So she's got a wealth of knowledge. Huh? Pardon?
Can I jump in? Where do you guys want to put, when joining an existing disgruntled team, assimilating into a team, where do you think that should go?
Team construction.
Team construction? Okay.
Yes.
Sweet. Gracias.
Gracias.
Do we have a timekeeper?
Yeah, I was supposed to be doing that. I forgot.
Yeah, it's 8:17. No, 6:17. Damn. I can just tell you the time right now, Chris. I can't tell you how long.
Well, we started late because we didn't get off of the other meeting until like 5:40.
Well,
do you guys mind if I get off at somewhere around 6:30?
Yeah.
I think we should be almost done by then.
I think we should be too.
Yeah, and then we'll just polish this up later.
The same thing. I'll email it all to you guys. Polish it, wordsmith, and then email it to you and submit it to Doctor so she knows. And I'll put in our comments, even though she knows our group, what our names are and all of that, so she knows what group it's submitting for. And then, and then I didn't. We need to email these. Okay, so what I'll do then is I'll email the questions to Tracy, give her the basic concept in the group, and I'm going to copy you guys all in on the email, so that you can see her response and whatnot. The only thing that we need, we need to include in that email to her the date and time, or propose a date and time.
Yeah.
We'd like to meet with her.
Cool.
Is that our content discussion or our agenda discussion? Are there 3 meetings next week, or just?
I have my papers on the table right now.
haven't
I was
looked
looking at it,
week.
but I can't remember.
I looked ahead at this. I haven't looked at the upcoming assignments. Here, let me grab my schedule.
I'm gonna come to your house and make your bed for you. You know what? My wife left, and I even made the bed, and no one's sleeping in it because I'll
That's
sleep on the
okay.
couch.
That's okay. One thing I'd like to suggest, though, on that topic, and not to pick on you, Hank, but keep in mind that this is a person that you can possibly utilize in future. She is in Northern California, Chris. So there could be opportunities, like every day you're at work or school, you're interviewing basically, because you don't know who you're going to run into in the future.
So what I'm looking at on the schedule, we've got a content discussion and the interview meeting. Those can be done in any order, any time of the week. Doesn't matter which one's first or after.
Okay.
So it's 2 meetings next week, right? Not 3?
2 meetings. 2 meetings.
So the interview is actually the assignment. Okay. So normally we have that on Friday. Should we do that on Friday still, or well, first of all, do we need to keep the Tuesday and Friday thing?
I'm fine with Tuesday, Friday.
Yeah,
I don't have to care one way or the other.
Okay. So then when I email her the proposed times, I can say either Tuesday, 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, or Friday, 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time.
We got that. Perfect.
So then,
or 5:30. I apologize. 5:30. Pardon me?
I think we should try to get this finished, and then we can start talking about that later. I think we have a section for that.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah.
And then, is this just pretty much it? Is this how we're just going to do it? We're just going to categorize it like that, and then?
Yeah, and then we'll assign those sections to people.
There's 5 categories. There's 4 of us. I say we do 4 categories.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's combine background and personality. Is that okay?
Yeah, I think that's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Or do you want to just get rid of background and put that personality in there? Whatever.
It's the same thing. How did that get up there? Up there.
What do you effectively improve?
I'm going to take off this one because that question we already cut and pasted there.
Cool. Yeah, I just highlight and drag them.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's why you see a bunch of weird missing gaps.
Don't worry about it. Oops.
You're doing a really good job so far, Harrison. And Chris.
You're so nice. You're not giving me grief over my bed? You all
No,
right?
I said I only need to say 2 things about your the way your bed looks every meeting. I didn't say anything last week because I was on the verge of puking. So.
Yeah, my bed was looking a lot better than you.
Yeah, it was.
But we are going to make sure all of our backgrounds, like mine doesn't look so great. I'm going to fix that so that it looks professional and presentable.
Sure.
I'm going to be putting in probably to shave my head. Putting in
put some gauges in.
Gauges.
That won't bother her. She's good. She's good.
Tattoo on my face.
That's all
Yeah,
right.
maybe a Bud Light sign in the back.
That's good.
Bright neon.
Uh-huh. How are we doing on this? 6:23.
Yeah, we're
I just
pretty
want
good.
to. So this is going to be the order that we're going to be asking people,
Hmm.
or asking.
I was thinking we would open up with background and the personality stuff.
Mhm.
So, Yvonne, since you're introducing, you can ask those questions, or someone else can start with those background and personality questions if you don't want to do those and you want to get something a bit more exciting.
Well, let's just get them in there, and then we'll pick.
I think that the background and personality is part of the introduction.
Mm-hmm.
What did I do?
I think it just moves easier that way.
Yep, I do.
Okay.
I do. So if we're looking at flow, I think that background and personality goes in introduction. So first, and then
I would say leadership styles and stuff, the virtual leadership tag. I'd like to add more questions to that, but if it's just 2, that's fine. We can make them more open-ended.
Are these all of them?
No, there's more questions down
yeah.
there.
And then
Or
I
team
would say,
construction. I think you want to construct your team before you talk about leading your team.
okay, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
Yes.
So I'm going to write.
personality, team construction, virtual leadership, and then conflict.
Conflict.
Mm-hmm. I like ending on conflict.
And then we'll just are we going to put our names and who's going to do it?
No.
Yeah, it's on the rolls. Right? Or no?
Well, I mean, like the way we're going to submit it, I don't know if we're.
No, we'll move this stuff around, clean it up. But
Because I'm wondering now if this is going to be the final product that we're going to be sending to the teacher.
No, I'm going to clean it up before I submit it. And I'll email it to you guys to make sure everyone's good with it before I submit it. Is that cool?
yeah.
Yeah.
So when would we have the opportunity to look at it? I'll finish that tonight, polish it, and email it to you guys. And then once I get all good, when do you think we would be able to turn that around so that we could submit that? So I could submit that.
We want to do it tomorrow morning or something?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm free. I'll be around tomorrow morning to crank on it a little bit if you'd like. Add questions, remove them, and then we'll all get a sign off maybe tomorrow afternoon, evening before we all go out.
Yep, I got to submit it by about 4 o'clock because I got to get on the road after that.
Okay.
So can we say, like, everyone take a firm look at it by noon? So if anyone has any follow-up questions, we can do that, and then I'll submit it by, okay.
By 4?
Okay, sounds good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I'll set an alarm for my phone for 4 o'clock just in case for some odd reason we slip.
I'm probably going to disagree with it right away because I'm an easy man to please.
Yeah, that's a shocker.
Okay. How do you guys think we're looking for the...
I'd like to add more to the
right. We said we were, so we're good. But were you asking about, go ahead, Chris, your facilitator, where are we at?
Yeah, just asking where you guys think we're at as in terms of this assignment right here.
I'm good to let it rest if you guys are, and then we'll crank through the last agenda items.
Okay. I think we start at 5:45. I think we're running a little less than an hour. Now I think we might be moving too fast, but but I think, I mean, it's just because that I feel like if we have the time to do it, and I know you're running on something, Hank.
Yeah. I can get docked for leaving early if that's fine with you guys, but I don't know what you're all feeling.
No, because other than that, we're pretty much, because I think we're just kind of jumping ahead. I mean, we pretty much got into the agenda, technically, the rest of the agenda. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think so far, I think we're okay. So I guess if you do got to go, I'm just a little bit more confused, like, with this question, if she answers now I'm a little nervous that like are these questions going to take up too much time or?
Well, we have to polish. I think we'll be good. She's not a chatter.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's
And
not
I'll be
Kyle.
facilitating, so I'll make sure we move it along.
Right. Oh, right. Yeah.
And if we move too fast, I'll hit it with follow-up questions and stuff.
Yeah, you're right. Nice. Okay. All right. And if that's looking okay to everybody, I mean, that does.
Yeah, I would
good
just
so
like
far.
to add on to the background and virtual leadership tag, the last two, tomorrow. Like, see if we can come up with something just to give it more beef and more options if we end up blowing through those two tags.
Yeah. Okay.
Questions.
All right. Then I'm just going to move on to the next agenda item. Is that okay with everybody?
Yep.
We're comfortable with that? All right. Number 10, you guys have any other thoughts? I think we pretty much discussed that just now, but I'm just going to give you guys formal time right now if you guys want to say anything about this assignment. And then any questions for Dr. Chanley?
No. She talked our ear off.
I think she was pretty spot on. And then I felt kind of embarrassed, to be honest, that I was looking down so much, like if I'm being honest.
I do notes. I have no way of.
Yeah, same. And then in terms of the team effectiveness from the George Washington site, how do you guys think this team meeting went?
Good.
Yeah.
We collaborated. We got together. We put this meeting was very constructive. It was not constructive, very productive. So put our questions together and we talked about it. And it was good to go.
Do each of you feel like we have actively listened to each other?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, number 13.
Drinking on my water.
All right, any changes? Okay, so you guys have any changes for the next meeting? Anything you guys want to do?
No.
Anything you guys want to talk about during the next meeting?
Next meeting, we've just got content or interview. We just got to figure out which one is going to take place on what day, whether it's Tuesday or Friday.
And we'll find that out.
We are changing the roles for the interview, and we are changing roles for next week, no matter what. So
right.
For the content meeting, maybe we stick with the same roles as the interview roles.
Yeah.
Sure.
Is that okay with everybody?
Yeah. And instead of greeter, they can be jokester or thanker can be jokester. And then
do you guys want to just go ahead and decide which day we're going to do right now?
No, we have to ask her.
Okay. Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll text her. After we have our questions submitted and all that, I'll text her, make sure that she's ready that she has time, and I'll just ask her if Tuesday or Friday works best for her. And then I'll send that email out. And that's the other thing I need to know, if she wants it personal email or work email.
Did everyone look at the next week's instructions already too for the next meeting?
No.
No. Yeah, we're gonna have to go.
Because we don't know if we're going to be doing the interview or if we're going to be doing the content.
Okay.
If we're doing interview, we've looked at the interview because we're making.
Okay.
That's what we're making right now, so we know what we're doing for the interview.
So then Friday would be our content, right?
If it works out that way, it could either be Tuesday interview or Friday interview.
Okay. Yeah. All right. We'll leave it in there. And then when do we? I think we need a deadline to figure that out by.
What? By what? Figure out what? I'm sorry.
What are we going to do with our meetings, just so that because we still have individual assignments that we got to do.
You mean? What do you mean? The interview or the content? Is that what you're talking about?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, like a deadline for us to decide by when the interview is going to happen.
Well, we have to ask her.
Okay.
So
yeah, we'll get an answer by Monday.
Okay. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, and as soon as we have that answer, I'll have a reply all to the email. I'll set it up beforehand so she's not caught off guard, and then I'll have a reply to all so that you guys all get the email. As soon as one of us sees it, if the rest can text or just make sure we all see it.
Yeah.
And we'll know, we'll have on Monday to prepare for Tuesday if it's interview or content, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just be prepared for the readings if it's content, first, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Any other questions or comments?
I apologize. I missed the part where we set up our roles.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hank
I
was
thought we were-
facilitator, but I didn't see who was submitter, host, jokester, timekeeper.
I'm the jokester.
Chris is host again. And yeah, so Kyle will be jokester and timekeeper. And then Yvonne, you can be if it's a content meeting, your
Challenger?
introducer or challenger. Yeah, that's the one. Because there's nothing we're going to be submitting other than our notes for that content meeting.
And those are individual, right?
Yep.
And then what are you doing, Hank?
I am
Oh,
facilitatifying
okay, I'm sorry.
for the next 2 meetings.
I think that's a great choice, to be honest.
Wicked. Everyone feel comfortable?
Yep. Sounds good. All right, I'm gonna leave it till Monday, just because I'm really paranoid. It's not like there you go. All right. Okay. Everyone feeling good?
Everyone
Yeah.
feels good.
All right. Have fun, Hank. Good luck,
Yeah.
Kyle.
Mhm.
And good luck, Yvonne, too, with the messaging.
We'll be fine.
All right.
Be good.
Okay.
All right.
How do you guys, okay, wait.
Cool.
One last question. I'm sorry. How do you guys think I did? Was it kind of? It was not. Okay. All right.
It's good, brother.
All right. Sweet.
We moved along really well. We didn't get hung up on anything too long.
Yeah.
And then we just slapped the meat and potatoes of this agenda pretty well.